Big 12, it's a wild landscape in the conference because we're trying not to compare them to the SEC. Like, no, the average strength of schedule in the Big 12 is not comparable to that of Florida or Oklahoma, but that's okay because it can still be a highly entertaining conference. You have to take it for what it is. There's no Big 12 team in the top 20 playoff odds at FanDuel right now, but they're all virtually equal. So that makes for a highly entertaining conference, and in terms of strength of schedule, it makes it almost impossible to separate these teams, but we tried anyway. So here's what I will tell you. We think Brigham Young has the easiest schedule in Power 4 this year. That's what we have right now. We can adjust this, but it's not going to adjust much. Brigham Young's got a great draw this year. They don't play a single Tier 1 opponent. They don't play a single Tier 2 opponent. They only play 2 Tier 3 opponents. There is no back-to-back road game on their schedule. Texas Tech's their toughest game, I think, and Texas Tech will be playing them as their 6th consecutive game. Brigham Young will be off a bye. So they got a plus 6-game rest advantage there. So it's great draw for Brigham Young. I think also Texas Tech's a winner, even though I just mentioned that scheduling spot. They don't play a single Tier 1 team. They got 5 games between Tier 2 and Tier 4, but they play 7 games against teams we have rated Tier 5 or lower. To give you an idea of the quality of team we're talking about there, the worst 2 teams in the SEC are Tier 5. Texas Tech plays 7 games against teams that caliber or worse in a preseason rating. They also, if you'll look at the very end of their schedule, if Texas Tech is in the Big 12 title game, which means, they're in the playoff picture, but if they're in the Big 12 title game, look at what they'd have. They have a bye, then West Virginia, then the conference title game. They've got the latest bye in the conference. I think one other team has a bye the second to last week of the season. Huge advantage if you can make it to the conference title game. One of the losers in the Big 12. Hey, quick timeout. Check and see if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're not, I humbly ask that you click subscribe. It's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything. What it does is it helps us keep this show free so we can just do college football year-round. All right, back to the clip. Scheduling-wise, I think it's TCU. A lot of it has to do with out-of-conference, though. So TCU plays Bill Belichick. They go to North Carolina to open the season. They also play SMU out of conference. They play 3 of the top 5 teams in the Big 12 in terms of odds on the road. So 60% of those teams that are the top of the conference in the FanDuel odds, they play them on the road. They've got an early bye, too. They play 1 game, and then they got a bye, which is not ideal. And then they play 7 straight games after that. I also think one of the other scheduling losers is Baylor. But that's really because of out of conference. Baylor opens against Auburn. It's a really random game. They play them at home. Auburn opens their season in Waco, Texas. Whomst to thunk it, right? They play Auburn, then they go to SMU, and that's a couple of big-time out-of-conference games. Now, the good news is that doesn't matter in conference play. 2-0, 0-2, it doesn't matter. But they do face the top 2 teams in the Big 12 as well. And they open with a 6-game stretch. So, and that's it depends on what your preference is. Some teams want to play a bulk of their games together early because they're the healthiest they'll be. So, yeah, just some winners and losers there in the Big 12.